October the 19th. Big match referee, the top whistler in the British game, Russell Smith, and he is ready, as we all are now, for what will be a titanic struggle. St Helens will get the game underway. Paul Sculthorpe kicks off, grubbers it along the ground, into the arms, eventually off the knees of Adrian Lamb, and he'll go with what is usually one of the occasions of any Super League season. Craig Smith eventually hitting the deck.
I spoke to quite a few of the Wigan supporters outside the stadium, and they said, Steve-O, this is going to be a Vindaloo. In fact, they say it's going to be more than spicy.
David Ferner on the drive forward, operating at loose forward tonight. Let's check out the two teams for you. Connolly continuing full back. Young Briscoe and Aspinwall, Hodgson and Ainscoe. It's O'Neill and Lamb who's in possession now at half-back, and the captain. The forwards, O'Connor, Newton and Smith, Craig Smith, Cassidy, Wild and Ferner. And on the bench it's Howard, Mark Smith, Bybee and Tickle. The coach is Stuart Raper. St Helens have got Wellens at full-back, Albert Gleeson, Newlove, Stewart, Sculthorpe and Long. Up front it's Britt, Cunningham, Nicol, Joint the skipper, Stankovic and Shields. And the bench occupied by Ward, Hyam, Martin and Bennett. The coach, of course, is Ian Millwood. Right, you have all the details. Now just settle back and enjoy what will be an absolutely full-blooded affair. Cunningham at dummy half, and Sculthorpe with a deep kick over the top and downfield, and fielded over there by young Briscoe. Home debut for Briscoe. He played in the 18-all draw, remember, at Castleford. Aspinwall is his dummy half. This is how it looks head-to-head since '73. Wigan 34 wins. Here at Wigan, it's 17 wins to Wigan, but in Super League, much, much tighter.
Well, a silly penalty given away there by Chris Joint, the St Helens skipper. In fact, Chris Joint will surpass Billy Benion's record of 39 derby games for St Helens against their old foe Wigan. It's his 40th, and that just shows you the experience that Saints do have out on that paddock. But I reckon it's going to be a big gamble on both sides. There you see Kieran Cunningham got that right thigh heavily strapped. Obviously he's gone into this game with a painkiller. And there's also talk of O'Connor, Newton and Ferner in the Wigan pack. They've also gone out there with needles.
It's a very important game for Wigan though, and that's why the players have put their bodies on the line, and this is David Ferner. There is a belief in Wigan, if they lose this one, that will be it as far as top or second's concerned. And Wigan are determined to be there in the shakeout at the end of the day, and a dab forward by Hodgson.
Close.
And they were close. Connolly dropped it but got a boot to it before it hit the floor. And it was hacked forward, and he was so close to the first try.
Well, I think on the replay you could see there that Hodgson was just a touch in front of the kick from the fullback Gary Connolly. Even if he'd got a fingertip and got the ball down in the in-goal area, I think he would have been deemed to be offside. Oh, and there's a problem for Adrian Lamb. He caught a stray boot. And remember, Adrian Lamb is taking on the captain responsibility for the Wigan side in the absence of Andy Farrell, and he's been playing out of his skin.
That looked like it went forward, but was it not forward? No, it was forward. The touch judge gives Russell Smith the nod.
This is the reason why we do have touch judges. No doubt about it that Joint lost control of that. I thought it went forward. The best start for the Saints skipper. Gave away a penalty. Now he's come up with the first error of the game.
Well, Saints are second place, Wigan are third, but St Helens have 10 wins behind them in a row. It's the best sequence in the game, but Wigan, they're third, and it's 7 unbeaten matches for them. They really are looking to close the gap on St Helens. The gap at the moment is 5 points. These youngsters, though, like Aspinwall and Briscoe, huge responsibility on their shoulders, and they will look, as they did at Castleford, to the big men like Newton, like Craig Smith, like Cassidy. 3 tackles gone this set of 6. Terry Newton in a dummy half. Terry O'Connor, who was man of the match at Castleford, of course, flicks the ball back. And this is Newton again, gets away from one, gets away from two, but Shields comes back for a second effort, still manages to offload to O'Connor. He finds Lamb, they go down the right with O'Neill. Ball down by Joint.
Good step, picked out by Joint, and that's got to be another penalty. And it's turning into a mini nightmare for Mr. Joint. With 11 on his back. No doubt about it, he had a second lunge at the loose forward. Certainly the standoff, Julian O'Neill. In Millwood, of course, knows oh so well what is needed to come away from this ground with a victory. And we'll have fond memories, of course, on this ground when they absolutely blitzed the Leeds outfit in the semi-final of that Challenge Cup. But
a little bit closer if you want.
Mr. Joint will be hoping that things turn a little bit better from here on in.
Yes, you're right, Saints have won successive Challenge Cup semi-finals against Leeds here. But you know, they failed to win here in 3 meetings against the Wigan Warriors last year. So this is an important kick coming up for Julian O'Neill. See where he is. O'Neill, 7 goals against Widnes here on Friday. Probably would rather forget the first derby match that he played in against the Saints, because Wigan lost 19-0. Julian O'Neill didn't distinguish himself in that match, but here is a golden opportunity to get the first points on the board for the Warriors. He's taking his time, that's why the referees held the clock. Now time's back on. And O'Neill has missed. The St Helens fans behind the posts go bananas, and that's a costly miss perhaps for Stuart Raper's men come the end of this match.
The only consolation, of course, that Wigan will receive the ball from that dropout. It's not a bad one either. But you've got to look at the forwards on this Wigan outfit. Can they last the full 80 minutes? Thankfully, the humidity has gone away. We've had plenty of showers here this afternoon.
We have had some rip-roaring thunderstorms as well, so the pitch is likely to be a little bit greasy, but this surface at the JJB is magnificent. And this is Connolly. A very good attack from Wigan was building there before the Gleeson tackle.
Neat work as well. They're running the angles very early in this game. Normally it's the forwards that just try to test each other out. But Stuart Raper, the Wigan coach, has obviously got the message through. Let's attack with some good running off the ball and run the angles. They're doing it again.
O'Neill tackled again by Chris Joint, and here they come, and Adrian Lamb did well to hang on to that. A little dab to the in-goal area, and it beats everybody.
Well, the idea was there. It wasn't the best pass. He had to really reach down, and he was under a lot of pressure.
The ball went backwards, fortunately then off Kieran Cunningham, and he was able to pick it up himself. Here is Sean Long. Now it's with Paul Wellens and Gleeson, gobbled up by Jamie Ainscough. And Hodgson will be penalised.
Well, it's good refereeing by Russell Smith, who realises that they've already given a couple of penalties to Wigan for St Helens being all over. And that's in return, and rightly so.
Well, this is Darren Britt now for the Saints. Beat Halifax 21-18 on Friday. A little bit out of sorts. Nichols gone without the ball. And Wigan have possession in the shape of the prop forward Craig Smith.
This is the first time that St Helens has utilised a little back pass back on the inside from Sean Long. Sonny Nicol really should have taken that. It's all about taking the chances, especially in such a tough derby game like this.
Lamb gets the pass away to O'Neill once more. Newlove is there. I think that underneath is Sculthorpe. Yes, it is. Terry Newton. Now Terry O'Connor drives it into the chest of the St Helens defender. Peter Shields stands his ground. Newton again. Cassidy back to Newton. On it goes to Craig Smith.
Pretty solid defence by Saints. They're a little bit astray with the fact that Wigan were running the angles, but they've sorted it all out now. They've gone more of a man-to-man mark, and that's a good kick.
Great kick from Lamb, but well collected by Anthony Stewart, and he's away from one. But Stephen Wilder's in there to bring him down.
Looks like there's a problem for Peter Shields. He made no impact to try to get back and help out his fellow teammates. Looks pretty tough out there.
Nicol, good tackle.
Oh, he's lost that, has Nicol.
Furner. He has. Second blunder from Sonny Nicol.
You could argue the fact that Cassidy was on his back, but I think he just lost control of it. We mentioned the rain. Some heavy, some sprinkling. Either way, it's going to be difficult out there. The ball will be very slippy indeed.
So here is Lamb from the base of the scrum. He finds Gary Connolly. Gary Connolly, who has a terrific record himself in these derbies. It's his 54th Wigan Saints meeting. First in '89 in the colours of St Helens. This is his 34th for Wigan. He was transferred in 1993 for $250,000. O'Neill gets the ball away to Furner, who loses it. Well, we told you it could be very, very tricky handling the ball because it has been damp here today.
Especially when you get the big hit like that, right under the forearms, it's pretty difficult to hold on to the pill. And
there we go again. No.
Dragged out, he claims.
They were offside, Wigan.
Well, I thought the signal by the referee Russell Smith was that he was reefing the ball away. And you can see there's about 8 or 9 Wigan players who never made any attempt, and therefore he played the advantage. Cassidy was one of them that didn't go back the required 10. Now then, can Saints just settle things down and get into the swing of it?
It's with Long and Nicol again. And manages to offload it to Britt, who in turn gives it to Cunningham, who in turn gives it to Long. And Long runs down a blind alley, taking on O'Connor, who didn't quite like it.
They were pretty quick off the mark, Wigan, though. Their defence was solid.
Here's Peter Shields. Pops the ball back to Cunningham. Cunningham back on the inside to Paul Sculthorpe. And he's hauled down by Connolly and also by Terry Newton.
It amazes me why they don't go low on Sculthorpe.
Good ball from Long to Britt. Tackled by Cassidy. And here's Long. Now it's with Stankovic. Stankovic spinning, loses it. Well, that's quite a few handling errors already in the opening 12 minutes.
All came about yet again by the impact of the second man coming in, and again it was Cassidy. Stankovic couldn't control it. Well, I think both sides realise now they've got to just take it a little bit calmer. Don't try to force the pass, because when you're spinning in the tackle, dry weather you're fine. You can handle that football, keep hold of it pretty tight, but when it's like a bar of soap, twisting in the tackle exposes the forearms. As soon as you get the impact, you lose it.
Error strewn. The opening 12. Cassidy was just receiving some treatment behind the scrum, so they waited for him.
Talking of treatment, Eddie, Darren Britt and Terry O'Connor, it was a real battle. They locked horns with their heads. Wambo.
Wambo?
Wambo.
Another new word for the concise English dictionary.
You know I'm never concise.
Oh, another mistake.
I went back though, and forward.
To knock on. Big hit by Stankovic and Sculthorpe, I think, on Craig Smith.
Tit for tat. Just explain the reason why. Let's him try to use the forearm. The problem is with Craig Smith, he was using the forearm that was carrying the football.
Neat run around by St Helens. This is Gleeson. Oh, what a hit by Ainscough, and he lost the ball.
Well, Gleeson doesn't know what he is. The experience there of Ainscough.
I think he's hurt his arm.
Oof.
It's break, I think. I think there's a signal gone that Ainscough's broken something.
Well, it's a forearm that gets him. Crash. That's a bad one. I thought it was across the chest. It wasn't. Oh, that's a bad one. Seen it on the replay.
Ainscough, I think, has got a problem, a major problem. Oh, dear. Let's hope it's only a cut. Let's hope it's not a compound fracture of the wrist. Oh.
Well, that certainly has opened the skin, and it surprised me that Martin Gleeson, I don't think he's got a mark on him.
Well, I looked at Nigel Ashley-Jones when he went to Ainscow and he immediately put his hands across his chest and pointed at Ainscow, and it looked as though that was the end of it as far as Jamie Ainscow is concerned. I know that Bill will be chasing the news of that on the touchline.
But look at that.
I know.
There isn't a mark on it.
He must have a head of granite.
Rawhide.
Got a man off.
New nickname for Mr. Gleeson. Very tough. Skin like leather.
Connolly now for Wigan. And Stuart Raper having to do just a little bit of a reshuffle. Danny Tickle on for Ainscow. There he is.
It's a vital time for both sides now because it's getting a bit scrappy. They're losing their control. Some high shots are coming in. And the side that can just ensure they get the sets of 6 away. Oh, what a big hit!
Darren Britt on Craig Smith.
The Britt machine, and I think Mr. Britt felt that too.
Chip over the top, and Darren Albert has got to run this ball out.
They're throwing punches in back play like you wouldn't want to believe. And not surprising. It's, well, I'm sure, I know that there's O'Connor in there somewhere.
Well, Darren Britt is the man who is trapped in goal, but the touch judge is on the far side.
Oh, they were throwing them like you wouldn't want to believe, and it was Ferner that threw the first one. Stankovic was getting through. Not many was reaching their target, but Ferner's first chop certainly did. And I think this may well be a ticking off for Stankovic and David Ferner.
Well, David Ferner's in no hurry to go to the referee. Now he is. Stankovic is there.
No, that was no penalty.
There's no penalty forthcoming.
Just take your ball back, Scully, we're all right. Listen, when the ball's gone and I've been with it, listen, let's just get out of the way. Let's play the game, let's get on with it and concentrate on the good stuff.
Well, I've got to take my hat off to Russell Smith. It wasn't back play. Why give a penalty and disappoint one side and give the advantage to the other? It was a 50-50 battle. No one was hurt.
Get him low.
It's that sort of night. This is Craig Smith.
Let him up one.
Tackled by Long and Gleeson.
Get him on top.
Connolly's the dummy half. Nearly went without it then.
It looked as though it was a knock-on, but he just pulled the arms away.
Newton. Lamb and wide to O'Neill. And further wide looking for Aspinwall. And there's another error.
Great work, though, by the wing and Anthony Stewart. Talk about getting into a man's face. Watch this. Bang, I'm there. And Aspinwall, just as he was about to receive the football, watch this, Stewart said, you're mine. Face-to-face marking. Impossible at times to get through. Well done, that fella.
Anthony Stewart making his 99th appearance here for the Saints. Long feeds the scrum. Well, let's get news on Jamie Ainscow. Bill, is it as bad as it looked?
Well, thankfully, Eddie, and it did look gruesome, and we were really close to it down here on pitch side, Phil Clark and myself, and we thought it looked like some sort of traumatic break. It was such a blow, and the news from the Wigan physio department is that it's a puncture wound. They reckon he might just have caught Martin Gleeson's tooth or a nail or something like that, and it's ripped the skin, and that's what led to all the blood. It was certainly pumping, but the word is that Jamie Ainscow will return for Wigan Warriors.
Fair enough. Newland rather gets the ball away. Oh, and Stewart has gone without it, but was it stolen by Terry Newton? It's a decision for the referee and touch judge. I think the ball was stolen, if I read the sign correctly.
We'll soon find out here.
And it was. It's going to be a penalty here. It was Briscoe.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't Newton. Briscoe, the winger. Experience coming through. And we have still yet to see either side get a second set of 6. It's been that scrappy.
I wonder if they've had a full set of 6. It has been a scrappy start.
Let him up quickly, one.
Well, they have had completed sets, 4 for Saints and 5 for Wigan, but not many is the call. This is Stewart. It's the tension of this event. It is also the conditions underfoot. Despite the fact that it looks lush, and it is, it's very slippery. Scuffle.
Now then, Will Long scamper away. He's on his way.
Long to the line. Hauled back by 3 cherry and white defenders. Gets to his feet. Plays the ball to Shields. There's Sculthorpe. He gives it wide to Wellens. Wellens just toying with O'Neill. Flicks the ball back. And Briscoe dives on it bravely.
He'll be a relieved man as well. He was a youngster that gave away the penalty that allowed Saints to really apply the pressure. He was quick to jump onto that ball. Well done to the youngster.
Funny start to this match, Phil.
It is, Eddie. I think both coaches, it's probably fair to say, will be happy with the team's defence, especially out wide. In terms of the ball control, they've been most disappointed. Number of mistakes far too high. And in fact, it's interesting, in the last couple of weeks, St Helens have made twice the number of handling errors that they normally do throughout the course of a season. If you look at their averages in a match, I'm sure that's an area that they can't afford to tonight. You know, when the conditions are so slippy, all the more important a good kicking game is, and so we've seen some excellent territory gained by Adrian Lamb. It wouldn't be surprised me if they kick early in the tackle count to try and pen Saints down near their own line and force a mistake from them. So many so far.
Lamb was there with the pass this time though to Craig Smith, and he surrounded Stankovic and Nicol moving in for the tackle. This is Terry Newton. Now O'Connor will try and drive it over halfway, which he does, and takes Nicol and Joint with him. Newton, the dummy half, waits, comes left and finds Lamb. Lovely ball back on the inside from Lamb.
Great work from Nicol. Read it perfectly. Knew the inside pass was on.
Here's David Ferner.
Well, we've heard Phil Clark talk about the good kicking game, but also not just the length, but the little grubber or the one over the top. It is pretty wet out there, and the ball can slide all over the place.
This is the last tackle. We might see a kick here from Lamb. It might come now from O'Neill. No, they're running it. And this is the youngster Danny Tickle. And they went for the power play, Wigan. They didn't come up with a try, but now they'll hunt the error from St Helens deep in their own half. But Lamb is down again.
Well, did he take something in the back play?
He's clutching the shoulder there.
Well, he's definitely the main cog here. After he passed the ball, just can't see whether there was an impact afterwards. We'll see better on the head-on. Nicol put the shoulder charge. Pretty difficult in slow motion to see whether he committed himself. I think Nicol did. At full speed, it would be a split second. But he's a tough hombre.
He is, and Wigan are in negotiations with him to try and extend his stay.
Will it be a bitter loss to this club? He has been outstanding throughout all this season.
Stankovic does well, offloads to Cunningham. Cunningham, that right thigh heavily bandaged. Nicol.
Well, he's not the same player, is he? Kieran Cunningham. It's obvious that he's also, like many players out there.
Nicol's done brilliantly. Now he's lost it. Great tackle from Bybee.
Good work from the youngster. Right to offload. They really don't need to. But both these sides are wonderful exponents of ball control, quick passing, but there are times when you just calm it down. You play basic football, kick and chase, force the error. It may sound boring, it may look boring at times, but this is a professional game.
Connolly trying to go round Wellens, can't go round Paul Sculthorpe. O'Neill. Aspinwall. Real test of the youngster's character. Handling errors are rising, aren't they? 10 in 20 minutes, and Saints have made 7 of them. O'Connor. It's a good contest between the 4 props. Lamb just delayed to Cassidy. Oh, and it was nearly an interception there for Sean Long. Knock on either way, and it'll take Long to knock on first.
This will be the first occasion either side has had the opportunity to go in the second set of 6 consecutive, that is. And if St Helens have to really dig deep and then force them out, if Wigan can then add a third one to it with a neat rubber kick in the in-goal area, you normally get a side who has 3 on the run. They'll come up with points.
This is Stephen Wild for Wigan. He's got a penalty, and he was named in David Waite's train-on squad. and Paul Sculthorpe not too impressed with the decision from Russell Smith.
Spinning him down. Just listen to me a minute, please, Chris. I spoke to Martin Gleeson on 2 occasions. I spoke to you twice. I've given at least 3 penalties for the same instance. Listen to me, please. I could have penalised Sonny Nicol a minute ago in the same position. Take it on board. I'll put it in the bin.
Well, St Helens are a bit grumpy with Russell Smith's decision.
He won't mind, because he knows that the first miss a while ago by Julian O'Neill in a little bit wider position. This really should be very easy indeed, but not only for passing will this ball be pretty dangerous with it wet out there, it's not going to be easy for the boot either.
It's a game that's 23 minutes old, and frankly it has yet to come alive. And just to add insult to injury, the rain is starting to come down again. You see it plainly there. And St Helens fans doing their best to put O'Neill off, but he won't be denied this time. It's 2-0 to the Wigan Warriors, who haven't lost since Bradford balls away in May. It was Deacon's last-minute penalty for a 28-26 scoreline that night, remember. What a match that was.
2 valuable points in difficult conditions. It'll be a sign of relief by the Wigan coach, Stuart Raper. But if any side wants to continue to play fancy football, offload it in heavy traffic, you're going to pay the price.
Well, remarkably, Jamie Ainscough returns.
Ooh, leading with the elbow there is Cassidy, and Barry Ward didn't like it, not surprising.
Here's O'Neill, good ball back on the inside to young Aspinwall.
Ooh, he lost that.
He did. Kieran Cunningham knew that and appealed to the referee, who gave the shrill blast on his whistle.
I don't know whether there was a stray hand in there, either way. There's the elbow, ooh, right into the throat of Barry Ward.
Well, here goes Sculthorpe now, and he's turned on his back in the tackle. Wellens to Barry Ward, taking on Cassidy, and Cassidy just waited for him. And Ward takes the tackle. Here's Wellens. Newton and Bybee with the tackle. Cunningham. Long. Sculthorpe. Joint tried to duck underneath O'Neill. Couldn't. Shields. Long. Britt. Back to Long. Flicked back to Wellens. And St Helens, they just can't get through this superbly marshalled Wigan defence.
Well, they look a little bit lost as well. Must be of some concern to that fella, Ian Millward.
Here's Sean Long. And a real mess. Long hit the deck, Ward hit the deck, the ball spun out. And it was thundered into the body of a Wigan man on the floor. This is Ainscough now.
Well, we're averaging a mistake every 2 minutes. It is that game.
Hands up, 3, 4.
I must say that a lot of those, Eddie, have come from forced mistakes. That means that the defence is pretty solid.
Good hands on show from Wigan. And it goes wide from Lamb to O'Neill. Now they've got a couple of men on the overlap, but O'Neill taking them on.
Desperation there by Paul Newlow. It looked as though O'Neill was going to offload.
Adrian Lamb, Gary Connolly now. Connolly goes back from whence it all came. Tried to get the pass away.
Back to
Stewart
6.
got a hand to it to knock on. It'll be a scrum.
Big gamble there by Anthony Stewart. You can see that they had the overlap. Winger was nowhere to be seen on the whitewash. It would have been a clear run out wide. And Sean Briscoe would have been on his way to the line. He took the gamble, didn't get the ball, but at least he stopped the opportunity for a try.
Martin Aspinwall, tackled by Gleeson and Stankovic. Lamb. David Ferner showed it to Cassidy, and then gave the pass very short as he fell. Might come off yet for Wigan. That was a bit high from Long on Cassidy.
Been far too many. He's got to go.
Gets another one.
He's got to go.
Shields is in the bin.
He was warned by the official. And straight away, the words of wisdom come down from Stuart Draper. And it's take the two, I'm sure. I know it will have the clock ticking away, which will ensure that he perhaps doesn't get 10 minutes in the bin with Wigan having all the action. But it's vital, these points. Oh, they're going to go for a tap.
Yes, they're running it. And here is O'Connor.
Let him up, come on, Gillies!
Well, often you say, Steve-O, that a team should try and force the momentum with a man in the sin bin straight away, and that's what we're going to do with Biden.
But not in these conditions, Eddie. It really is teaming out there.
Lamb to Furner. Furner is tackled by Sculthorpe and Joint. Aspinwall. Lamb again. Bybee. Had a big game as a substitute in the Challenge Cup final at Murrayfield. Newton. Oh, he fell then into the legs of Chris Joint. He felt that in the ribs. Here's Lamb. Now it's O'Neill. Tries to go inside Gleeson.
Well, they're sliding all over the place.
Connolly. O'Connor's dropped it.
He's on his way through there to Ward.
It's at it, they're at it again.
Well, it's frustrating for the players, Eddie, in the fact that they know they can't control the football. They're angry with themselves. So therefore, the adrenaline is pumping. They want to do better, and anybody gets in the way or says anything, they're swinging. And boy, they're swinging heavy.
Referee's got a job here to try and keep the lid on this.
You weren't even involved with the ball.
A little push with the knee.
That would have been your fault.
Didn't help matters. Mr. O'Connor says, come on, fellas. Don't be silly.
Or we can just concentrate on playing. It's your choice. It's a change of what
Well, you notice they didn't shake hands, the two combatants, Mr. Ward and Mr. Newton.
What do you think this is? A barn dance? Shake hands.
Back to me, let him up.
All in the name of sport, Steve-O, for goodness sake.
2 release.
29 minutes or thereabouts. Match has yet to get going because of mistakes like that. Now, can Wigan do anything with Connolly?
Well, again, a forced error. It was a deliberate knock onto the arm by Furner. He went for the arm, and therefore the ball hits the deck again.
This is O'Connor.
And that's the reason, Eddie, why I wasn't screaming for them to take the advantage of being down to 12 men. Because of the conditions, you've got to take the 2 points in positions like that.
O'Neill. Wrestled to the ground, Cunningham and Sculthorpe. Here's Ricky Bybee. Back it goes to Adrian Lamb. David Furner showed it to Cassidy. Showed it to Ainscough. Attracts 3 to him.
This is where the quick play of the ball is needed. 3 have been in attendance. Bit slow though from Furner.
Ainscough, Lamb, a dab towards the in-goal area. I think he went for the post then.
No doubt about it. And they've been disappointed, both the coach and the Wigan skipper, that it skidded a little bit too far, and you can see quite clearly there by the fact that Newton just, well, it was though he's going down on an ice rink. This is Ward. And this also is a point, Eddie, that if you get any chance, if a winger's getting close, dive low, you'll slide for 15 metres.
Long push and a shove with Adrian Lamb. Plays the ball to Cunningham. Cunningham released the ball. It went
Play
backwards
on.
And it's play on. Wigan waiting on. Long
It's
with
still
another
play
mistake.
on. No, it's becoming farcical.
But a terrific hit again from David Furner.
Well, really, I know I keep mentioning it, Eddie, but why are they trying to turn and spin away from the tackle and then offload? These are conditions where you just roll the sleeve up and say, hey, come on. This has got to be a battle royal. He knows it.
Stuart Raper's on his way down to the sideline. Normally does with about 9 or 10 minutes to the half-time. Well, he's going down to sit next to Phil Clark, maybe. Wonder what you're thinking, Phil. I think you ought to throw a match onto the blue touch and stand back and wait for the explosion.
Hang on.
I think maybe we're being a little bit impatient in saying that. I think it's inevitable in these conditions. Both sides are going to make a number of mistakes. Perhaps the side that makes the least mistakes in its own half will go on to win the game. And I know it's not really been the type of game in which you could do it, but if St Helens can manufacture a situation where they get Martin Gleeson on a one-on-one with Stephen Wilde, who was playing opposite him in the centre, might get some joy in doing that, although now they've changed around and Ainscore's come back on in that role.
I must say, Eddie, that it's going to be a key factor when Ian Millwood brings on Tommy Martin. A 40-20 in these conditions really could set and turn the key to this game.
Lamb, good ball. Oh, that was Connolly, but it was bashed out of him by Bennett. Ainscough thinks he's going to score, but they bring it back because the whistle's already gone.
They're celebrating, and there's no point in doing that. And this is going to be the norm for the game. That was a wonderful hit. Oh, watch this. Bam!
Genuine tackle, impact to the tackle.
Wonderful stuff.
Staying the school, Wigan.
Here's Gleeson. Can't get through Hodgson and Lamb.
Look how the turf has been just ripped apart out there.
Groundsman will be going hairless. Penalty now then. St Helens fans waiting for the yellow card to be brandished, and it isn't.
Well, he hasn't given the official warning to Wigan as yet. He only did that to Chris Joynt.
I think Stuart Raper believes that call by Russell Smith against Ainscough after he touched down should have gone to the video referee to decide.
No, there's little doubt that Connolly lost control of it. I don't think it was punched out. It was just the impact of the tackle.
Long and Newton are chunnering to each other. Here is Sculthorpe. Off the foot.
That'll be a knock on Wigan. Saints will have the opportunity. He didn't. I don't think he went for it now. Newlove.
Yes, you're right.
Wigan fans don't like it, but it was Newlove that kicked it. Look at that awful pass. And the referee's got it right. And they come up with a mistake.
So Saints head and feed. Opportunity here for them to capitalise with Newlove. Cunningham. Sculthorpe attacking the line. Ball on the inside. Ward drops it.
Well, maybe the message might get through to them. And I just can't believe that both Millwood and Raper, the two coaches, are not getting the message out. Say, come on. This is not a summer's afternoon. It's time for grinding.
Well, if you remember, on Easter Monday it was 2-0 St Helens at Knowsley Road at half-time, and we all know what happened in the second half when St Helens went on to win by 19 points to nil. At the moment it's 2-0 Wigan. Both of these sides capable of hitting you late in the half. Here's O'Connor. Barry Ward with the initial tackle, finished off by Gleeson. Newton was wide, and this is Stephen Wilde.
Well, it's wet enough to bring on the Navy, but
another penalty. Somebody could be in the bin again here.
And he's given them the benefit of the doubt. He's just saying that it's wet enough to bring on the Navy, but both sides have got to stop bringing in the Air Force. They've got to get down to the tanks and good, solid hard work in the forwards.
Newton's there, and here now is Ricky Bybee. He's lost it.
No, that was one-on-one. That's all right. But it's deemed that Cunningham has knocked on. It was definitely dragged out by Cunningham, but that was fair. It was one-on-one.
No.
Oh, they've got the benefit of the doubt.
Head and feed to Saints.
Well, this is reefed out.
Where?
With the arm, surely. No, all right, maybe the elbow. Oh. Well, we're going to see plenty of this. It's a wonderful and sad thing at times. Yesterday we were sweltering in the heat and the humidity.
Gleeson to his feet, plays it to Sculthorpe.
Oh, he's got to be offside, surely. And that was a hooker.
Well, it went backwards to play on.
Well, I've seen some fast guys in my time, but where on earth has he gone 10 metres when the ball has been passed straight away from the dummy half?
Offside now.
And not surprisingly, there's got to be another one. Newton was not back. Yep, that's good refereeing by Russell Smith. And the crowd can go bananas as much as they want. This is the early one, watch. Now, he's in front of the referee and he's playing the ball there. Talk about being offside. They got away with it then. He allowed the play on, and then this fella never got back the 10 metres, and now the official warning for the warning.
2 or 3 quick penalties. The reason that I penalised him the second time was that your Wigan man had only got back about 4 or 5 minutes trying to grab Sean Long. It's up to you now. You've seen what's happened to them, it's up to you.
Well, Wigan now are on the warning. Remember, St Helens down to 12 men. Wigan with a full complement. 6-6 the penalties. And this is St Helens on the attack with Paul Wellens. Wellens again, fed by Cunningham. Oh, and Paul Newlock puts it down.
That'll be the first knock on.
Even though Briscoe's over the line, they will play the first. That one.
In fact, if it caught it the second time, it's okay. Even though he bobbled it the first time, that's not the knock on. It was when he touched it again, it went forward and it hit the Wigan player, Briscoe. Doesn't have to hit the ground.
Saints with a full complement of players as we have 2.5 minutes to go to half-time. Ian Millwood's on his way down as well. Ainscough. Just a bandage on that arm. When the impact happened, it looked as though the injury was much worse than that. And the signal from Nigel Ashley-Jones, the physio, was instant.
I also feel that we mentioned early in this game that Kieran Cunningham, obviously, he has a problem. He has not run from dummy half once. Not the typical running that we've seen from him. And it makes you wonder when Mickey Hyam will come onto the scene.
Lamb did well, Ferner did well, Ainscough hacks the ball over the top. It's easy that for Wellens. He's got Hodgson after him.
Boy, this guy has come on so well in regards to positional sense.
And Newton flicked out then with the feet at Sculthorpe. And he could be in trouble here. The touch judge's on, he's seen it.
That's the tackle were completed. The Wigan man... Let's go back, please. Let's go back, please, AJ. Just go back, please, and let's have a talk.
Wigan man kicked the St Helens player while they were on the floor.
Right. In. Put it on the report. Yes. Put it to the Newton.
Yes.
Terry!
It's hard to see in the replay there whether it was a lash out. We'll see it better here.
Well, he got pushed by Sculthorpe, then he kicked at him.
He didn't lash out, just pushed himself away. There it is, pushing into it. Shouldn't be done.
And he said we're going to kick him ball, possibly, so we're going to put it on the report. That's all I'm saying. Keep yourselves clean.
I think Saints will be happy to go to the break, Eddie. Only 2 points adrift. Wigan have been by far the more adventurous and far more opportunities, and that's got to be a penalty.
You've got that out, you need it, it's a penalty.
Got the arm with the knee, it's a penalty.
I think this Wigan side were getting a bit frustrated. He came through. Difficult though.
Wigan with the greater possession, and they lead just by 2 points to nil. Maybe time for one more tackle, maybe. Well, no, there's going to be a sin binning. I think it's Cassidy, and he's given the penalty. Cassidy's in the sin bin. Right, it was for holding down again in the tackle. And Wigan are on a warning, of course.
We're not rolling away. I've asked it both sides.
Well, they were trying to turn him on his back.
I didn't see him with the last ones. I thought there could have been an accident.
As the Australians say, they tried to turtle him.
Just lying on too long.
2 seconds to go.
It's irrelevant at the time.
I must say it's effective.
I don't know. There's 2 seconds to go.
I once saw a turtle turned over on its back. It's not a nice thing to see.
Well, he doesn't look too impressed, Stuart Raper, but that's one man apiece now in the sin bin. And Cassidy will spend the first 10 minutes, all but 2 seconds of the second half in the sin bin. And Sculthorpe here has the opportunity, because the half-time siren has gone, to level the scores. And the Wigan players are nowhere near 10 metres away from this ball, by the way. Cassidy's in the bin. Sculthorpe with the kick, and Sculthorpe with the 2 points, right on the stroke of half-time. Well, a match that will have the coaches chunnering to the referee, I am sure, or at least they would like to chunner to him if they could get near him. But Russell Smith has refereed it right down the middle. It's been the same for both sides. But it couldn't be much tighter at 2 points apiece. It's the boot of Julian O'Neill and the boot of Paul Sculthorpe that has produced the points in this match. And Sculthorpe, after the final half-time siren, with an important kick that puts Saints level at the break. 2 apiece. Legendary all-time greats of the high up in the main stand, and enjoys his rugby league. So good to see people like Billy here. One of the old legends, Steve-O, who actually appreciates the modern game.
You're right, Julian.
Yeah, I have to agree with Eddie.
Stay behind, lads, keep back. Let's get off them quick.
He'll come out with that same old corny statement. It's not as good as when we play. What a load of rubbish. These guys are athletes. As I mentioned it before, we wouldn't last 5 minutes out there.
Well, Wigan and Saints is underway, second half, and I wonder whether there will be any change in tactics from the 2 coaches for this second 40. Cunningham is still out there, as you can see. Darren Britt is out there, despite the fact that he's got a bandage on his head. And of course, Wigan are starting this second 40 without the services of Mick Cassidy. He's in the sin bin, and he's got 10 minutes, all but 2 seconds to serve. Cunningham, first run from dummy half, gets St Helens over the halfway line.
Straight away a change of tactics, and again we're seeing more running from the dummy half position, and it is working for Saints, though that's yet another mistake. Darren Britt failed to control that football. I mentioned it so many times in that first 40 minutes, why these players are trying to offload when it is vital to get position. We mentioned the fact at half-time that Saints only had attacking position for 6 minutes out of 40. They can't expect to win a game like that if they have the same amount of time in the second stanza.
This is O'Neill. Well, let's get the half-time news, shall we, Bill?
It's pretty straightforward from both coaches. Neither of them prepared to be too hard on their side. Stuart Raper summing it all up, really. We've just got to retain possession. Simple as it sounds, it's very difficult, and a lot of muttering behind the doors about the slipperiness of this ball tonight in these wet conditions, and it's making it very greasy. But both those coaches, Stuart Raper and Ian Millwood, just want their side to concentrate on maintaining possession and then see if the chances will come their way. The news of David Furner from the Wigan camp is that he has had 14 stitches in and around his mouth. It's that sort of game.
Brave effort then from David Furner. 14 stitches. And a man there who has been told he won't be at Wigan next season because he, I'm afraid, falls outside the Wigan salary cap restriction.
Better effort there. Barry Ward knows what's needed. Good hard graft.
Good ball from Sculthorpe. Good drive forward from Welland. Last tackle. Much better ball retention from Saints in this second half so far. Sculthorpe will dab it to the in goal. Briscoe is there, the young man. He gets away from one flying body, can't get away from Chris Joynt.
Absolutely superb tactics there by Saints. A lot of running from the dummy half position, making sure that the kick and chase is good. It's not about scoring points in this opening 15-20 minutes of the second half, Eddie. It's all about tiring out your opposition. And if you can keep turning them behind and pushing them behind their own sticks, they'll tire.
Terry O'Connor then for Wigan, driving the ball forward again, puffing those cheeks out as he always does, and makes good ground. Last one. O'Neill with the kick downfield. He will turn Stewart around. That ball won't run dead now. It's just how good is the chase. Stewart to run it back. Aspinwall is first to meet him.
Shows you the quality of both coaches. They're both coming up with the same tactic. They know exactly what is needed. And as Bill Arthur pointed out, not surprisingly, both of them were not castigating their side. It is one of those nights, slippery conditions.
Joint. Shields, that's a loose one. Well picked up by Gleeson. Hodgson was hunting it. Ian Millwood, the St Helens coach, alongside him. John Sharp, his assistant, and Sean Long. What a shame that just at the vital moment he lost his footing on this greasy top. Sculthorpe with a huge midfield bomb. Connolly's after it, and Connolly claims it. Well, he earned his stripes as a fullback early on, Gary Connolly. And he's not a bad deputy for Chris Radlinski, but he's hurt in claiming that high ball.
Brilliant take. There's only one man at this ground going to take that high kick, and that's that fella. Well, the injury problems obviously have not disappeared here. He went down rather awkward.
Twisted the ankle, I think, on landing. Terry O'Connor again for Wigan. Hauled down by Joint and Sculthorpe. And another injury for Wigan. O'Connor now has a problem.
Well, he's got quite a few problems over the past couple of weeks. He has been pushing himself through the pain barrier. And we've made it quite clear that he's had pain-killing injections to turn up for the last two games. The cherry and white. And I think there's a knee misplaced in there.
Well, he grimaces as he gets to his feet. This match is, of course, about Wigan and St Helens. It's also about Raper and Millwood, and it's 5-4 in Ian Millwood's favour, but that includes 3 wins against Castleford. Actually, since Stuart Raper took command of Wigan, it's 4 wins to 2 to him, including the Challenge Cup final, Wigan's first trophy for 4 years. Bybee for them, grounded on the last. Midway inside his own half, and Wigan are running it with Ainscough, now with Hodgson, and the kick, and the chase. Ainscough's after it. Ainscough will get there.
What a wonderful effort. I mentioned in the first half, in these conditions, all the Wigan or a centre has to do is throw himself 10 metres from the line, and you will slide there. And I think he's grounded it. He's spun over onto his back, but I think he's got control with the fingertips. Look at the dive here. Meters out, twists round, makes sure that it can't make a knock on, and that is TRY time. That is an outstanding effort from Ainscough. Turns over superbly, no doubt in my mind, and I'll be very surprised if the video referee disagrees with me on this one. What an effort. He may have got a little bit of lady luck when it bounced off his right ear, but it'll come the 4 points, I'm sure.
The try is given for Ainscough. First try of the match, and it belongs to Wigan and Jamie Ainscough. A real upsurge in form recently. That's his 5th try in the last 6 matches now. Rumours persist about a change of club and a return home to Souths maybe, but Ainscough will hear none of it. Great interplay.
Beautiful combination, and David Hodgson's kick was superb. We've mentioned the fact that you've got to play the percentages. Kick and chase has to be superb. Back on the inside, and watch Ainscough here now. Rather than take the gamble, he dives. He knew that if he slid across, there was nothing that Wellens could do about it. He put his body between Wellens and the ball. Oh, that is experience. That is superb.
Well, he's 31 years of age, is Jamie Ainscough, former Australian international. And what a record he's got right now in the Super League. So Julian O'Neill now with the opportunity to add the extras. Wigan ahead. They lead by 8 points to 2.
Well, they needed a try to lift the spirits not only of the Wigan fans but also their coach. And here's the man that has provided the first 4-pointer of the game, and it was superb.
Well, he's had his critics this year, Jamie Eadscoe. That try took some scoring, it really did. Bybee for Wigan.
But
now, what have St Helens got? That's what they've got. They're forcing him back. Sean Long looks on a very short fuse tonight.
Well, he had a swing at this fella. Ain't scored the try scorer. He's had another swing at him yet again. Now, Saints have to keep their composure. But what a wonderful ability to be able, split second like that, Eddie, to realise that if I slide, I'll put my body between Wellens and the ball. If it's going to bobble anywhere, I've got the advantage of scoring. And he did.
And Wild and Joint square up to each other now. Meanwhile, here's Julian O'Neill for Wigan. He slid into... Oh, he didn't. He released the ball and Sculthorpe will counter-attack. Tommy Martin waits on the sideline to be introduced into this match.
Newton got a stray boot in the face.
Wigan, remember, are still down to 12 men. Cassidy's in the sin bin, but they've scored the try, crucially. Tommy Martin's on, and that's his first touch, or non-touch.
Well, they got a fingertip to it, but not more than that. Talk about getting in your face. Having said that, I know they're eager to get at each other. Russell Smith, to be fair, has tried his damnedest to try and get back a full 10 metres. He's found it difficult, though, because of the tension, the aggressiveness that both sides are showing to each other. This is more than just a game. This is pride.
Lamb's gone for a 40-20 here, and that's a cracker. That is a superb kick from the Papua New Guinean Adrian Lamb. It's going to be head and feet at the scrum to Wigan. Papua New Guinean of a Papua New Guinea father and a Liverpudlian mother, by the way.
Not bad for a Scouser, Eddie. What a great kick. It's quite ironic. Ian Millwood, the Saints coach, has brought on Tommy Martin, obviously with that same intent for the 40-20, because it is such an important part of our game, and it's such a great advantage. The crowd loves it. So do the teams in possession. I'm not so sure about whether St Helens will be over the moon. Now this is a time maybe to just straight for the line. No finesse. The St Helens defence will be expecting this ball to spin right out wide.
And it will, from Lamb. Aspinwall nearly through. It was an important tackle by Sculthorpe. Here's Lamb again. Cassidy's back, by the way, and this is Connolly. Behind him, try-scorer Ainscough. It comes this way to Lamb. Now Cassidy, first touch out of the sin bin.
Roll on the big fellas, where are they?
Newton. Lamb. Lamb! Brilliant! What a brilliant try from Adrian Lamb. Superb stuff. Well, a new deal is in the offing for Adrian Lamb. Wigan will be foolish to let him go.
Little doubt about that, Eddie. I'm just looking over the gantry here at all the officials, and I'm wondering whether Maurice Lindsay has actually gone running to the boardroom and said, "Bang some more money on the table." When you come up with a try like that, he has been superb, sensational, call him what you will. He has led in the absence of Andy Farrell. He's been outstanding in that department. He's a schemer, he thinks all the time. Look at the dummy through there. He knew once he'd made the break, nothing was going to stop him. The direct way to the line, that's what was needed. Shields had no chance of stopping him. And it all came about from the little fella's 40-20. Apply the pressure. Get your second set of 6. The defence is all at sea. LAM for a TRY. Whoop.
Adrian Lamb, Papua New Guinea international. Queensland in the state of origin in Australia, and a man who is no stranger to captaincy, because he has led Queensland many times in the past. And now former Queensland teammate Julian O'Neill with the opportunity to add 2 more points to the Wigan total, and it really would be a big ask of St Helens to come back from 12-2 down. Well, it's 12-2 now. From 14-2 down, it'd be even worse. It is. O'Neill adding the extras to Lamb's virtuoso display.
Let's see the prop forward, Darren Brady. He's already slipping. Tommy Martin does it quite a lot. Goes out for the dummy, and he went. And boy, oh boy, you chuck him. It has been a problem this year for Tommy Martin. Not the first time he's come out of that one-line of defence, but when you're facing this little fella, Adrian Lamb, he's got so much speed from a standing start. Boy, the crowd here are loving this.
Well, the Wigan lot are. St Helens are just a little quiet at the moment. They take defeat against Wigan.
Knock on.
Appallingly. Harvey Howard has joined the fray, and his name is added to the mistake list.
No doubt about it. Frankovic didn't move the foot or the arm. So the words of wisdom from the coach Stuart Raper is possession is vital, or paramount, as one coach once said.
Now, can St Helens respond? If anyone can, the Saints can. Wellens underneath Harvey Howard, gets to his feet, long with dummy half. Peter Shields flicks the ball away as he fell. Sculthorpe picks up the bits, drives it in at Cassidy. Harvey Howard is there as well. They can't put Sculthorpe down. Now they do.
The Saints have been in this position many times. They've still got the firepower.
Darren Britt. Ooh, Cassidy was high.
Good job he missed.
Cunningham. Lost it.
Was that deliberately knocked out? I think it was.
Well, if it was, it should have been head and feed at the scrum.
Harvey Howard swinging at the arm, but they're going to get away with it. Oh, they've lost it now, Wigan. It's going to be a try.
No, it isn't. They're in touch. Great tackle. Storm Briscoe.
Well done,
the youngster has earned his stripes there. One youngster dropped it, and Briscoe bundled the man into touch. Aspinwall went without it. It was a try for all money.
Just a little bit behind Anthony Stewart there, but as you mentioned, Eddie, Sean Briscoe, this is it. Went for the arm. That's all you have to do in these conditions. But this is a youngster on fire. Anthony Stewart looked for all the world, and that's the expression that Ian Millwood offered to this crowd. He knows it's going to be tough. He knows there's not going to be many opportunities. And for Wigan to come up with losing possession on the very first tackle, it's warming up now. Saints can't afford, though, Eddie, to get involved in a real slinging match where fists and elbows and arms are going at it. They'll just play into the arms of Wigan, who look to have the superior set of 6.
Well, there's no doubt about it, Phil Clark. The older heads in this Wigan side standing up to be counted yet again.
Yeah, and I also think the younger ones adding a lot of enthusiasm and energy when they need a heel on a kick chase. Look at that. Guys like Hodgson and the rest of his teammates there tickle up there to put the tackle in deep inside the Saints line. Look at that again, the work from Mark Hodgson. He just seem inspired at the moment. I know that a lot of people, myself included, have talked really of a sudden death element to this game for Wigan. If they don't win tonight, I didn't think that they could finish in that second elusive spot or even finish top. And they've certainly taken that sudden death syndrome and attitude into this game, really, really lifted. They've been tougher than Wigan in defence and smarter than when they've had possession.
Barry Ward just lost that, according to referee Russell Smith.
Well, he slips and he loses as he tries to get to the ground. That's it. And it was sufficient.
As he tried to get to the ground, or he tried to get to his feet?
From the ground.
O'Neill. Ooh, so nearly through. Good job that Tommy Martin held on to his shorts. Newlove's penalised now. Well, the penalty count must be rising against St Helens.
Martin did all the work. Why on earth did Newlove want to just get astride him like that? Tackle's finished. And especially with the fact that both sides have had one man in the sin bin. Not many opportunities for the big fella, Paul Neilove.
Sometimes they're getting a little frustrated with Russell Smith. And Julian O'Neill here has the opportunity to mean that the Saints must score 3 times.
Well, 14-2. The Saints have to dig deep, and therefore the composure has to be displayed. Saints coach Millwood knows that. Experienced players out there, Paul Sculthorpe. This joint, of course, trying to steady the ship. And as we've known in the past, you never write off Saints, even with only seconds remaining.
Oh no. Not with people like Paul Sculthorpe out there. But Wigan have got the best defence in Super League, you know. Only 51 tries conceded, and it stays that way here tonight. Saints, though, have got the 3rd best attack. Only the Bradford Bulls and Leeds have scored more than their 98 tries. But they have been nullified this evening. O'Neill, a little bit like out of the Ben Walker textbook, taking his time. But getting the reward. 16-2. It's a long road back for St Helens now.
Those 16 points brought about by the fact that Wigan have only made 11 handling errors. St Helens, they're approaching 20. They're 18 already, and there is plenty of time left in this game. But they need to get this possession.
It's all going right for Adrian Lamb. Harvey Howard now. Shields was first to meet him with Barry Ward. St Helens are trying to slow Wigan down at the play of the ball. There's no doubt about that. A real schmozzle at times. Tickle.
They've had to do a lot of defending in the second half, and that certainly will take its toll, I feel.
Craig Smith.
Good defence, though.
Little run here from Terry Newton. Now Adrian Lamb. Wellens with the tackle.
Keep coming, Pete.
O'Neill. It's all Wigan. Second half. High kick. Stewart's underneath it. Oh dear. The picture says it all.
Yep. That takes them to 19 St Helens, and if you think it's easy, nip upstairs, jump in the shower and throw a bar of soap up in the air. See if you can catch it.
He didn't look, I'm afraid, too convincing underneath that ball for all of that. So what an opportunity for Wigan now to turn the screw. Ainscough. Good tackle by Albert. Connolly. Cassidy. Saints rearguard action at the moment. Craig Smith.
Good basic. Old-fashioned, if you like to call it. Just one up off the run. But it works.
Cassidy waits. Ainscough. Inside to O'Neill. Good run from Furner. Brilliant run from Furner. And David Furner, I think, has won the match for Wigan with 20 minutes to go. David Furner won't be here next year. Stuart Raper and the board can't find room for him under the salary cap. There are many, many other teams watching this tonight. And even at 32, David Furner will do someone a wonderful job next year. It won't be Wigan, but they'll remember him here for that try, if nothing else.
Joe Willerding came steaming onto this football. Good work by O'Neill. Not the best defence, but he came at the angle. It's always difficult when slippy conditions. And not only will the Wigan fans be clapping loudly, I reckon this fella's manager will already be adding a few extra shillings to his contract next year. Stuart Raper, he enjoyed it, but there's got to be a little touch of sadness about all this. Already told him they can't afford to keep him. They want him, but they can't. The system says he can't stay. Who is going to put their hand up and ring the manager? He's a great player.
Well, Julian O'Neill here now can drive another bolt firmly into this match for Wigan. It's theirs to lose now. It's 22 points to 22, all the twos. 22 points to 2. And when you consider Wigan have got out Farrell, Radlinski, Carney, Dallas, Johnson and the immaculately improving youngster Sean O'Loughlin, it's no wonder the St Helens supporters are sitting firmly on their seats.
And it's a proud moment too as well, Eddie, the fact Terry O'Connor, Terry Newton and the try scorer David Furner, they put up their hands and said, look, I know we're not fully fit, but we want to do the business, and boy oh boy have they done that this second half.
And Furner, of course, as Bill told us in the first half, playing with 14 stitches. Well, told us in the second half, was it? He's told us anyway. 14 stitches in the head wound tonight, David Furner. What a brave effort from him.
Just makes you wonder at times like this when...
Another 40-20 here from Lamb. No, that's up the middle.
But it won't go dead in goal.
Terrific kick. And look at the chase.
Oh, he's lost it! They'll play the first knock on, it'll be a scrum down, or will it be a drop out?
Drop out under the sticks.
He's played the advantage.
Wellens is furious.
Well, that takes it on to the 20 mark for the mistakes. And it was only dragged.
Darren Albert did well. Otherwise, Ainsker would have got his second. Stay back!
But more pressure to be absorbed by the St Helens outfit. I was just trying to say, Eddie, that with such a commanding lead and the way that they are controlling it out there, it's times like this where chief executives of clubs, they go into the trophy cabinet and they bring down the silverware and say, we did you in the Champions Cup, come and have a look, we're doing you again.
Craig Smith lost that ball. No, it was stolen. It's another penalty to Wigan.
Well, I'll go the 2, I feel. Pulled away. Cunningham it was. Stankovic was all over the top. Just hasn't been Saints night.
No, it's one for them to forget. Well, Maurice Lindsay and Dave Whelan, the two commanding figures here at the JJB Stadium, they haven't gone looking for that Challenge Cup yet. That's in the trophy cabinet. What they want now, to sit alongside it, is the Super League crown at Old Trafford on October the 19th. And on this sort of form, in this sort of mood, he would be a brave man to back against them. They're proving tonight that that win in the cup final was no fluke, and many people said it was.
Maurice Lindsay, he's got an impish character about him. You could see the smile on his face there, and I bet he was jingling the key to the trophy cabinet in his pocket there.
Well, Julian O'Neill. Hits the post, bounced back, so it's in play. Unfortunately for St Helens, they were the first to react. Wigan were on their way back to the halfway line when Darren Albert picked that up. 22-2 it stays then. Sean Long, Darren Britt. Good tackle by Hodgson. Cunningham skips away from Hodgson. Well, he's out of sorts, Kieran.
And he's mad with the official, saying that how come we get penalised, but you can see quite clearly that the tactics throughout this game has been, don't go for the ball, just make sure you're going for the arm that is carrying that ball. And it doesn't matter how much of that spray, the sticky stuff that they put on their hands. He's got no chance of controlling it.
Craig Smith limps his way to the sideline. Another Wigan injury problem.
That's the other thing as well, Ed, is that people forget that the jersey they're wearing is wet through anyway, and that doesn't help matters.
Connolly for Wigan. Lamb.
All they need to do now is just solid attack, get into a good position. They know the kicking of Adrian Lamb, Julian O'Neill will be sufficient to ensure that Saints keep camped down in their own half.
Lamb again. Furner skips over one, skips away from two, almost gets away from Stankovic. Newton, Lamb again. Well, Ainscough is offside. And I think Russell Smith called at him and told him that it was.
Good referee in the world by Russell Smith, who I must say, he's had a hard job tonight, but he's done it exceptionally well. Over the past couple of months, I thought that he was struggling to get back to his best. So, oh, that was stupid.
Stewart with the punch right in the face of Julian O'Neill. There's going to be another 2 points gift wrapped here.
Well, it's normally the retaliator who gets penalised. Obviously, something untoward was being involved.
You'll get a punch. The punch out for the worst defence. I'm going to go on the first defence, which is yours. Well, it looked to me like you pushed him first.
Well, the retaliator has not been penalised on this occasion.
Well, the referee saw it all, and as far as he's concerned, the first offence wasn't as bad as the second. The first offender was penalised. But Wigan are in no mood tonight. There's another lost ball for Saints. They're in no mood tonight to let this slip.
That's been the operative word, isn't it? And you could see clearly there that there was a hand, I think it was Cassidy's, that went in 3-on-1. It hasn't gone their way, I must say. If you're talking about Lady Luck, then I think it deserted Saints quite a lot tonight, but that is no excuse. I'm not taking anything away from the absolute wonderful performance by Wigan in the second half.
Man to Cassidy, and he gets the ball away under pressure from Shields. Hodgson skips through one or two.
He's had a wow in the second half, this fella. Not only just in attack, but the kick produced a try for Ainscough, and also he's pulled off some real tough tackles.
Lamb to O'Neill. Oh, interception, Tommy Martin. Tommy Martin's on his own. Has he got the legs to beat Connolly and co?
Yeah.
He has. Martin gets an interception try. Well, he shouts come on to his supporters. The supporters have been shouting come on to St Helens all night. But Martin, I wonder. Surely not. Not again.
You never know with this mob, but I must say they're a bit naive, Wigan, trying to do something far too fancy when they don't need it. They were applying the pressure with the kicks. Why did they have to come up with a sweet little inside pass? Tommy Martin knew that O'Neill would be slinging it back on the inside. He read it superbly. And by the time Wigan realised they did not have possession, this guy was halfway down the field. Can they? Never, ever say never with this outfit.
Well, he's got a try in both Super League meetings then this year, Tommy Martin. And that, by the way, for Tommy Martin, is his 700th point for St Helens. It's actually 701st now. 16th try in derby matches for Tommy. Sculthorpe adds the extras. 22 points to 8. Can they come back? You would say no in answer to that, talking about any other team.
Well, they're a bit naive, as I mentioned, and they got a little bit too cocky. to pull off a move like that. Okay, it's nice to finish in a wonderful fashion, but all of a sudden the nerves start to jitter. This man has put the Saints in with a slight chance, but as I mentioned in the first half, you can never just lie down. Oh, I said I was just about, you're never going to lie down, because they will always come back at you.
Well, on Good Friday last year, it was 22-12, and Saints came back and they snatched a draw, but they weren't making errors like that.
You don't have to be told. You know fully well that this could prove costly.
St Helens must keep Wigan out if they can. Hodgson, grounded by Long. Cassidy. Aspinwall, the dummy half.
Is it a drive? Let's have the 1 point.
Aspinwall goes the short way.
Guess what? He's lost.
The Wigan knocked on by Ferner, I think.
David Ferner looked up to
It was.
Well, I think that would have been setting up for a 1-pointer there, especially after the fact that just a few moments ago, trying to force a pass, put more pressure on them. I think Stuart Raper knows that even the great escapologists, Saints, can't pull this one out of the bag. And that's why I think he would have sent the order out, go for the 1 point, eat up the clock.
Joint. They've had a night that they would care to forget.
Well, Joint's out of, isn't it? And without a Joint, out of kilt, out of everything, not been a good night.
No, they know it. John Sharp, foreground with the headphones, assistant coach to Ian Millwood. He began his new 5-year deal with the victory at Halifax only just. A lot of us thought maybe they had an eye on this night at the JJB Stadium. If they did, I'm afraid they have taken their eye well and truly off the ball.
Now did Lamb get a touch of that? No, according to the official. But once again, we see the half break from David Hodgson.
Here's Bybee now. His name's Mark Smith, Ricky Bybee, Martin Aspinwall, Sean Briscoe, Sean Loughlin, who's out injured. These are the future for Wigan. Alice Lindsay has already said that it will be a Wigan-based team next year with a sprinkling of overseas stars. They hope that Adrian Lamb will be one of them. There's no doubt about that. They are in negotiations with him, but those negotiations not yet complete. Bybee loses it.
And again, Wigan frit away the opportunity to either apply the pressure, the little kick into the in-goal area, or the 1 point. They must feel confident, and I think they're every right to be.
Well, time is now running out for St Helens, and surely, Phil Clark, there isn't time, is there, for a St Helens comeback?
No, I don't think so. In the 70 minutes of the game, really, they never looked like scoring a try, apart from the interception that we saw from Tommy Martin. And the last time I watched Henry Paul play in a 7-a-side tournament in the Rugby Union, I saw him actually wearing gloves to presumably aid his grip of the ball. Ian Millward might inquire just about where you get those gloves from.
Well, there are some youngsters who are watching this tonight, and they will have watched the second half with interest, I'm sure. And that's a cracking kick. That's a 40-20 from Sean Long, or from Tommy Martin, rather.
And I mentioned the fact that it was ironic, wasn't it, that Millwood brought on Tommy Martin to produce something like this with a leg coming, and it was Adrian Lamb that was the first to do it.
Let me just mention those youngsters, Steve, are watching the skills of Tommy Martin. They're from the South East Elite squad, the development squad. They're all down at Bisham Abbey watching tonight on Sky Sports under the ever watchful eye of Mr. Lee Crooks. And I'm sure they're enjoying the skills that have been on show tonight. The 40-20 kicks from Tommy Martin and Adrian Lamb. And here are St Helens looking for a late lifeline with Newlove. Connolly's after it. O'Neill's after it. Sculthorpe, a dummy half. And here is Bennett. Good tackle, Bybee. There's plenty in the bank for Saints here. Sculthorpe, Long, Wellens. Oh, dear me.
No advantage. I think there was a little bit of a trip there as well. Mickey Hyam in sheer desperation just comes out the foot. There was the mistake yet again. You can see quite clearly, not only just because of the wet conditions, but Paul Wellens had a quick glance. Not rushing traffic. It's amazing how many of these top professionals do that.
Aspinwall gets away. John could have been penalised there. This is Cassidy, Stankovic and Shields.
Well, I think Russell Smith is experienced to understand that it's been a hard slog throughout. Players battling to get back to 10, players holding all over because they are so tired, and that's good refereeing. No point in stop-starting it as much as it did in the first half.
Well, a very interested spectator on the sideline is the Wigan skipper Andrew Farrell. He's with Bill. I guarantee you that he is with Bill, and we'll hear from him in a moment. I think we got a little hint that he was there, but let's just watch. Well, that's going to be too deep from Julian O'Neill.
Hang on, Mick, wait, we'll get behind you, Mick. Wait on your 10.
Now then, Hyam to restart for St Helens. This is Bennett. It's going to be Wigan's night. They've worked hard for the victory, to be fair. They have not lost 3 at home in a season in Super League before, and they were determined they weren't going to lose 3 in Super League at home this year.
Well, they've dug deep, haven't they? And they fully deserved the spoils tonight because they went back to basics. And it's amazing how it all turned around by the fact Adrian Lamb's 40-20, the times that they had the possession, they starved it from St Helens. And if you haven't got the ball, you're never going to win.
They face Salford, do Wigan at the Willows on Sunday, the team currently at the bottom of the table. But nobody should take anything away from Salford. They are scrapping for their lives. And of course, last year, the defeat at Salford was nearly the sounding of the death bell for Frank Endicott as the coach of Wigan. And Salford rubbing their hands. I know that Wigan have been involved in this hard battle against the Saints, although they've bossed it, as you've just seen, in this second half. Here's Gary Connolly now. Lamb again. Stabs the kick through. Albert to Wellens. Joint, Sculthorpe, Martin, Newlove. Well, they have to keep the ball alive, and it bounces off the legs of Stewart and out.
Trying everything they know. Newlove took the advantage, got into the wing if it do, he couldn't control it, and this will probably be in the record books as the slowest scrum formation that we've seen for many a day. Smile on the face of Stewart.
Yeah, Stuart Raper and John Keir both smiling because they know they have claimed a victory over St Helens that just could push them on towards the top of the table. Bradford will be 2 points clear of the Saints tonight, and Wigan will be 3 points behind St Helens. So battle joined for top spot come the end of the season, and all 3 have to face each other again before the end of the campaign. It'll boil away then till the middle of September, and then we'll have the playoffs, and then the grand final on October the 19th.
And how important is that game on Friday now against Leeds?
Yes, Bradford Leeds Friday, yeah. And Saints Warrington on Saturday. Great drive again from O'Connor. There's Friday, Bradford Leeds. It's 8 o'clock on Sky Sports 3. And on Saturday we have the Saints again. They come home to Knowsley Road against their close foes from Warrington. It's a Saturday at 6 o'clock start on Sky Sports 1. They look to get back on track, St Helens. Not been a good night at the office for them. Here's another scrum. 5 seconds, they're counting down at the JJB Stadium to a victory. It's not over yet, it will be at the end of this next. There it is, forward pass, and that will do us. Siren's gone, and you beauty, says Stuart Raper. A very important win for Wigan. A very important 2 points that they get to close in on the Saints and Bradford at the top of the table. The players shake hands. It's been an uncompromising night, really. St Helens will be bitterly disappointed. But in Adrian Lamb, they had the man who changed the course of the game in many ways, and in Jamie Ainscough they had the player who scored the vital first try, and after that the floodgates started to open. So it's Wigan's night, 22 points to 8. Saints will get some chance later in the season to try and redress the balance when they come back here again in the penultimate round. 22-8 it was, though. Man of the match is Jamie Ainscough. He's with Bill.